Welcome everybody to the Broken Wing Le Mans series. This is season 2, round 4 here at Laguna Seca. And it'll be exciting here at Laguna, it being 3 classes. There's a lot that can happen. The fact that normally this wouldn't be ran this way because, it is a congested track. I can't imagine how this is all going to go. I haven't really been looking too much at practice, but our best time on the board was a 1:13.9 from Camden Craft in the GTP, and then 3 seconds off the best time in the GTPs is Doug Sorrentino, who's in the Hyperion Racing 10 car, and then the fastest GT3 Alex Zier with the 121.7. So decent amount of difference to the different classes, but there are 18 GT3s on the board, 8 GTPs, and 6 LMP2s. I think the LMP2s got left behind a little bit here in this series, but right now Hyperion Racing 5 is in the lead in the GTP class over Zoom Motorsports in second. Hyperion Racing 7 is in third, and then the LMP2 class, Hyperion Racing 9 is in first, Hyperion Racing 6 in second, Twin Turner Sim Racing with Low Key Racing is in third, and then the GT Pros, the 212 Racing number 21 car is in first, the number 12 car in the 212 Racing is in second, and Valhalla Motorsports in third. Darkwing Racing in the Gentleman's Cup is in P1. TNR Racing is in second. Solitude Racing in third. That's all the top threes from each grouping. Ooh, you'll notice some people crash. That's what this is all about. See in practice who is on the very limit. Kinda forgot I turned the relative off. Yeah, with 3 minutes 40 seconds left in practice, we'll get started with qualifying. It'll be the GT3s first for 10 minutes, and then GTPs and LMP2s will come out for another 10 minutes after that and finish it up, and we will get rolling. Yeah, let's hope there's not a repeat of what happened at Road Atlanta for the old Valhalla guys. All over the track they were, and it looked like in that pit entry they came together again. Now V-Ray, get out of the way. They are in 8th position, and they've got a good haul of points. They've been at every race. Did a decent number on the last race. We're the winners in the first series in season 1. Richard Sever right there is testing all the limits of the track, I guess. Dan Gleesack 1969. That's funny. Is that E-Tray? TRNT left. Thank you for the follow. That was a little bit ago, but I got to it. That is, where's that? Why would you guys make so many different Twitch accounts? Thought it had to be the name's Dan. Yeah. I think this is Justin at this point. Oh, someone went off right there on the final corner. Echelon Sim Sport getting a little racy. Taylor Statham. What's the P in front of Echelon Sim Sport? Or Bro? I didn't think I'd seen that before. It's definitely not there before. Must have registered wrong. Well, in any case, let's hope Draft Punt Gold has a better run this go around. Leah Burton and Peter Flanner not having a great last round. Having binned it on the first lap, first corner. I forgot to mute the audio there. Well, we're out here. Forrest Holland is the first car in Cars Racing CKY to take us to a qualifying lap. It's not long. Should be very short. Even better that they added to the. How many dead GTPs in the corkscrew lab? Oh, I think all of them, but there's not that many of them. Feels like participation has been down ever since round 2. I think round 3 was a lot better. I think there were still 40-ish plus people. Maybe it was at 40, 42. But, yeah, no, this one's, not as many people showing up for Laguna Seca. Over, under. There's only 8 GTPs that are going to be on track. There's only 6 LMP2s, maybe 7. I think it's 6 though. Actually, now that you look at the LMP2 scoreboard there, it's not rotating, which means it is 6. It is exactly 6 drivers. At least you'll know where they're all at from P1 through 6. Laguna is just rough for multi-class? Yeah. To race. Fun track to drive. Well, just curious to see whether or not people are going to show up for the next one then. That's Spa, in the rain. Chrome Dome Racing of Alex Zier takes P1 already. Just behind is Matt Benson. Did not set a time on the board there. Parks de la Cruz in the 021 car goes ahead into P1 over Echelon Sim Sport GT3 Taylor Statham. Darkwing Racing of Richard Severin 4th. And Das Yeehaw Racing down into 7th with Jason Daly and Peter Petrucci down into 9th with Four Loco Racing USA. Four Loco Racing Sour Apple of Ryan A. Phillips in 7th. As some drivers are crossing the line. Tyler Tier and TR Racing into 3rd. Hollow Motorsports, one of the names, numbers, Daniel Haynes in second. Pier, I'll just say Pier. Spa is fun. Rain is not. I mean, can be fun depending on how terrible it's going to be. But the setting with iRacing is that you either get a torrential downpour or you get spotting. Echelon Sim Sport GT3 Pro Matthew Piran in 12th, with For Local Racing Black Edison Tool in 11th. Cars Racing CKOA Force Holland goes into 7th, overtaking his last position, and Matt Benson in Valhalla Motorsports goes into 4th. That said, Dominic Ford, can he place? He just crossed the line and he was in 2nd, now into 3rd. It's Dominic 4th in the number 12 car, 212 Racing. Down into 4th is Taylor Statham went into 3rd, but Matthew Piran of Echelon Sim Sport GT3 Pro goes into 1st. Valhalla Motorsports Sphere, I don't know, Matthew Wyckoff in 8th. Now, almost every driver on the grid has put something down. Gage Yams here has not. He's on an outlap. And Thomas Smith is just ahead of him. He's not on an outlap, so I guess we'll get to see what shakes up here. Every other driver has put down a qualifying time with 4 minutes 44 seconds left to go. What can this driver do? Let's just pop through turn 6 onto the straight we go. Edison Tool of For Local Racing Black went into 13th, overtaking his last position. Tom Smith, yikes. I believe that's going to be an off track. I believe there's no way that this is going to be a valid lap for himself. But Stephen G. Parks in the For Local Racing Peach car has gone into 14th there. Taylor Statham, whatever he did, he had a black flag, so he had to reset and go back. Parks de la Cruz passes through the start straight and goes fastest over Matthew Piran. And Thomas Smith back out there, or still out there, I should say. No time on the board. I'm almost positive that he did have track limits violation there on that last one. Yeah, he did. Looking at the old trusty clock, he had an off track in that corner. That would have been turn 9, or turn 8 into 9. But Gage Yams, he's no slouch. He's definitely going to put something on that's going to be respectable for the Valhalla Motorsports team here. My prediction is we're going to at least see a top 5 out of him. The best time on the board is a 1:21.3. It's only one other driver in the 121s. Predictably, Gage Yams is supposed to finish in the 121s. Put him P3 if he does. Thomas Smith crosses the line to go into P13. Jesus Christ. Alright. Thank you for showing that I didn't have my audio set correctly. Gage Yams. No, you're good, Turbo. Turbo. Thank you for the follow. I thought I checked that, to be honest, but I checked it in the stream, not on my actual default settings. That's why I was curious earlier. I was like, why can't I hear the sound of the race? And then I changed it to fixate on my headphones, but not on my computer, which if it done that, then that would have solved my problem. Things you do even though you stream often. Oh yikes, Thomas is out of the way there. Let's go Eddie Layton. Will he be? How does one qualify for this? Well, there's 10 minutes of qualifying for the GT3s. And then after the GT3s are done here in 1 minute and 25 seconds, once they cross that line, they will reset to the pits. Then the GTPs and LMP2s will go out together, and they will qualify together. LMP2 and the GTP times are about 3 seconds difference, and they will show. What may not be true for all the drivers is will they have the space? Because while the fastest GTP is 3 seconds faster than the fastest LMP2, it can't be said for every driver on the board. Even though they are marginally faster than the fastest LMP2, they're still going to have to find room and not feel like they're being held up by LMP2s, and vice versa. Tier is 2, Pier is 3 for Valhalla. I mean, for me to drive. Oh, hey, just sign up at the Broken Wing Racing League Discord. There's a welcome message and beyond how you're supposed to sign up. You just choose the series you want to race in. There's the GT3 Sprint Championship. That's just GT3s on Sundays. This is every other Tuesday, the Broken Wing Le Mans series. And this driver is in right now. And we have an oval league with the new ARCA car. That's ovals only, except, well, there is one road course, Road America, that's on the board. So there's that. I guess left and right on that series. That's Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all these things. And then the V's versus Rays, the classic old school prototypes of the tiny cars. Those are on Thursdays. That's a multi-class, a small multi-class, where people don't, it's not that bad. It's good racing. Tyler Tier goes into P6 with that time on the board. Daniel Haynes across the line. Does he improve on this time? He does. He goes to P5. Pier, which is Valhalla Motorsports 3. Did you say 3? Is that 3 or 2? 3. All right. Well, then it's Progeria. I don't know that one. The one that starts with an F is 4. I'm not going to remember all that. I'll try my best, but I'm going to be quite honest with you. That seems like a lot to remember. Ryan Serlich in the Twin Turner Sim Racing is going to be the first driver, with Low-Key Racing, is going to be the first driver in the LMP2 class, mind you, to go out on his hot lap. P2 GTP traffic is about to be a mess. Yeah, I mean, there is GTPs that are behind the LMP2 that's out there at the moment, and that's Ryan Serlich. So you got Mark Foley bunched in between Gio Gonzalez and Jason Chen. Austin McGill is 3 seconds off Ryan Serlich, which evidently it's not going to matter that much because I doubt he's going to catch him in 3 seconds here. So I think he's fine for that. I think this is just going to be a mess altogether in terms of they should have all just went out as one unit. GTPs first, LMP2s behind them, and let them all just sort it out. But it looks like everyone got a little trigger happy on jumping out of the pits as soon as the GT3s were done. I'm winging it again. Matthew Wyckoff. It's going to be something to note, as Ryan Serlich puts down that really good lap of a 118 even. Austin J. McGill with a 117 even. Actually, it's a 117.1. Almost close to 0.2. Where can Peter Flanner put it? He is about to cross the line. He's pretty quick. And he did a 120.6. That's behind the LMP2s at the moment. Craig Brick and Inca Salsa Racing also went in the 118s. Charles Whedon of Little Lugnuts also went in the 118s. Ryan Serlich is in the 118s, but Doug Serentino is in the 117s. Just 8/10 off, almost 7/10 off. I would say 7/10 off the leading GTP. Jesse Canales of the Barbecue Boys is in 4th position in the GTPs, but in the overall 6th. as these LMP2s are where they are on true pace. William Paisley of Arcadian Motorsports has yet to set a time, but through the corkscrew he goes through, and we'll see if he can't put something on. Ryan Serlich, yo, that is the LMP2s now in the 116s. Mark Foll of Prosciutto Punch Racing goes in the 115s, 115.3. William Paisley, what can he do here? He crosses the line, and we'll see in a second. He puts it into P2 in the GTPs and then the overall as well, overtaking Jason Chen in the LMP2 class, 0 days since last incident. Gio Gonzalez is in the 116.2s. It's pretty impressive for the LMP2 class. And Jesse Canales improves again on that last lap, goes into P5 for his class, but still got Ryan Serlich and Gio Gonzalez out there in the middle of the GTP class. Doug Sarantino has stayed in third, and Mark Miller has gone to fourth. Mark Miller the second of Team Mark Miller the second. And then Callum Farley of Match Set Racing in fifth. Really goes to show you, though. Parks de la Cruz did a 121.3. Callum Farley is in the 120.6. That's the difference there. Eddie A. Layton has yet to set a time on the board. Jason Chen has yet to set a time on the board. Camden Kraft, who's also pretty quick. No time on the board for him. Mark Foley crosses the line and goes with a 114.8. Look at that for Prosciutto Punch Racing, setting the best time. Peter Flanner crosses the line, goes to P4 in the class with a 116.4. Gio Gonzalez is still unmatched to what is 6 of the GTPs, now 5 of the GTPs, as Charles Whedon goes with a 115.3. William Paisley gets that 115 in. That's an off track for that one. Craig Brick also in the 115s. Gio Gonzalez still 5th overall, first in class. Peter Flanner just behind him by 2/10. He's got to find that time. Ryan Serlich, very close, about 5/10 off here from his rival. I was pretty correct on that one. Barbecue Boys, Jesse Canales is still out there trying to make something happen left. He is one of the few drivers, I guess his team is one of the few drivers that has an anime waifu on that livery. Let's give it a big close-up if we can. He's racing for his waifu. Yep, there she is. Good old glance at that. Mark Foley, and now in the 114.3s. Now it's got to be said, getting that quick. Well, that was just for you there, Trey. It's just for you. Where's that other driver? Jason Chen did make a move here, and he is now into P4 in class. Doug Sarantino also gets a little bit quicker, goes faster than Ryan Serlich in second. Austin J. McGill is still back there in P12 in the overall. He's got 2 minutes, 37 seconds left to go. Jesse Canales of the Barbecue Boys goes with a 115.8. He found some time. Peter Flanner needs to find that time as well. And he's up the hill and into the straight. He'll find his way into the corkscrew in a second. We'll see if he can't get himself out of this. But Team First Class Racing of Austin J. McGill is in the same boat. Both these drivers are set to appear behind LMP2s at the moment. And the way this was set up, Mark Foley popping in another personal best. The PR is now 14.036. Mark Foley might take this away. His teammate Andrew Gorstecki will take the reins at some point in this race. Craig Brick, the Inca Salsa Racing, going pretty quick. Peter Flanner and Draft Punk Racing going into third position there. Austin J. McGill does go quicker on that last lap with 115.7. Now the GTPs and the LMP2s are separated. And now it's just where can they position themselves. Barbecue Boys goes into P4, overtaking Charles Whedon of Little Lucknuts. Doug Sarantino has been unmatched at the moment. with his performance. Well, that's not how you do that. Gio Gonzalez of Hyperion Racing 9 is right behind. He's got time. This is his outlap. He's going to Mark Foley a little bit quicker on that last lap. How quick? 0.005 quicker. That's 5 thousandths of a second for those counting there. 5 thousandths of a second. I think Mark passed a P2 on that lap as well. Yikes. So he's got 19 seconds, 18 seconds. Is Gio Gonzalez going to going for it? He's got to get across the line. There's a lot of debris. A lot of sand, marbling. Not marbling, but I should say marbles, like limestone. But that's not what I'm talking about. Sand, pebbles, gritty stuff. It's probably going to make this track really unpalatable. Gravel or pocket sand. Mark is actually goated. Mark is actually goated right now. He got significantly quicker post getting his new wheel. Anyone was paying attention to that. That's not an off track, I don't think, but it is going to slow him down. Actually, on the board, that is an off track. This lap is done for Gio Gonzalez. Can Jason Chen make up any grounds here? He's going into the pits. Hamden Craft! Hyperion Racing 5 drops into the 113.6, and he overtakes Mark Foley by 0.4 of a second. He's already in the pits. Peter Flanner is out there. And he is parking it. I don't even know what the point of this is. Just hang around the track? Guys, it's already over. It's 23 seconds till this all shuts down. And Camden doesn't have another lap in him. This is pointless. Everyone's raced. It's about to switch in the 10 seconds. Damaged tires take forever to work in the GTP, so that is incredible he managed that. Oh, damn tires. I thought you said damage. That's just me finishing a word that didn't mean to finish. Anyway, that is qualifying. Here is the grid. It's a short one. Camden Craft P1, Mark Foley P2, Peter Flanner P3, Craig Burke P4, Charles Reardon P5, Jessica Knowles P6, William Paisley P7, Austin J. McGillen P8, Doug Sarantino in 1 for the LMP2s, Gio Gonzalez in 2nd, Ryan Serlich 3rd, Jason Chen 4th, Colin Farley in 5th, Ryan Miller in the 2nd and 6th, Mark Santa Cruz in 1st, the GT3 class, Alex Zier in 2nd, Dominic Ford in 3rd, Matthew Pearn in 4th, Daniel Haynes in 5th, Gage Yams in 6th, Tyler Tier in 7th, Taylor Statham in 8th, Matthew Wyckoff in 9, Matt Benson in 10, Ryan A. Phillips in 11, Richard Sever in 12, Michael Sharon in 13, Thomas Smith 14, Peter Petrucci 15, Edison Toole in 16, Stephen G. Parks in 17, Jason Daly in 18, and Eddie Layton will start 7th in class, Craig Carroll 9th in class, for the LMP2 for Eddie and the GTP for Craig Carroll. If they show up, they never popped up in the in practice or in qualifying. So if they do pop in, it's going to be right there towards the start of this nonsense. This nonsense being what could cause quite possibly be the most chaotic race we probably will see. It is a short track, and multi-class racing is not ideal here. So this is a test. And man, that Ford Mustang peering down the track is gigantic in comparison to these guys. Here from Matt Peerin. Nice to see his soul shepherdess. Thanks for that. I finished all the required setups. Oh, songs. Yeah, Turbo. It's gonna be until the next one. Next next endurance race is gonna be in 2 weeks from now, at Spa Francorchamps in the Arctic Forest of Belgium. It's a very beautiful track. One of the greatest tracks, actually the greatest track in all of motor sports racing. It just is. Also in the rain, which is going to be interesting. But you'll take that as with what you will. The track is dusty. Bathurst is better. It's not like you're going to be racing anyway, so I don't need to backseat Justin saying, hey, let's go to this track and then not show up for the race. Now, we got a good split here with the way this is going to start out. Camden Craft starting this green here. Mark Foley on the outside, and is he going to be able to take this P1 off the start? It looks like he's got that outside line, and it's going to be pretty rough for him. Go as Peter Flanner gets by, and looks like Chris Chitterling is also right there in the mix. And they're going to take that too wide, and a little bit of a kerfluffle there. So we got to go look at the other drivers. Doug Sarantino ahead at the moment, and there's Gio Gonzalez on the inside, or on the outside, with twin turn racing of Ryan Serlich getting bumped there ever so slightly, but I guess rubbing is racing, and there is a lot of debris, and they're going to take that too wide to the next corner and stay too wide. And is this going to be a continuation onto the next corner? Nope, looks like Gio Gonzalez gets by. Over now to our GT3 class. It looks like Parks de la Cruz got away pretty clean over his rivals here, but don't be fooled. The racing is still pretty hot and intensive. Dominic Ford got ahead in the 212 racing car over Alex Zier. Gage Yams is up 2 positions, and Daniel Haynes is still in same position, but Matthew Peerin down 2 off the start of this race, so he got a good jump. And now going further back, we got everyone else still locked in position, no change in the order for the most part out of the rest of these drivers. And that track is not only dusty, but rubble, debris, all sorts of things are happening on track. Going back over to our GTP class, P1 through 3 is the same as it started. Mark Foley was on the outside. He wasn't P1. I forgot he got passed by Camden Craft on the qualifying, but is still relatively in a good position here in P2 with Peter Flanner in 3. William Paisley and Austin J. McGill following suit in 4th and 5th, getting 3 positions each, as Christopher Chitterling lost 1, Jesse Canales lost 1, and Craig Brick of Inconsults Racing lost 4. He did have a little bit of a kerfluffle when the LMP 2s were coming about. Ryan Miller II overtakes Callum Farley there into turn 1. Is that turn 1 or is that turn... That's turn 5. Sorry. They look somewhat, not even slightly similar, but it's hard to tell from this this angle. That said, back over the GT3s, who are closest in class. There's some others that are not, but Gage Yam's up 2, still up 2. He's got his teammate of Daniel Haynes behind him. With this in mind, I'm kind of curious. He's got Alex Zier in front of him. Further back, you got some Valhalla Motorsports drivers. Matthew Wyckoff is just, quote, winging it. So we might see some true class out of this driver and finish well in hand without any mistakes. I like that he's still repping the 404 number. That is the number we give to drivers that have not chosen a number in any series. And there he is, Matthew Wyckoff, strutting that number out strong. Turn 5 is basically an Italian track in Spain. I mean, I don't even know why it's that big of a deal. I said it, but I was like, I meant to say this. It just spoke out of turn. You guys will meme anything. Now, yeah, you're a factory of cheese. Gage Yams here, getting pretty close, Alex here, but it's going to be very difficult to pass. I mean, turn 11, decent spot, possibly, if they have a bad exit, but that in into turn 2 in the hairpin. Back on with Daniel Haynes just right behind him. A pit lane report, there's a significant amount of gravel on track and multiple teams complaining about debris and risk of punctures. Wait for trackside to hear the caution played at the trash. Well, I don't think there's any sort of way that you guys can clean the track, but that's a great pit lane report. Gia Gonzalez here has a sister team ahead of him who's also put in the fastest lap in the LMP2 class, and just ahead of him Doug Sorrentino. So Hyperion Racing 10 and 9 are pretty much walking away right now to Ryan Serlich, who's 2 seconds behind. Go over to Austin McGill. We already have a GT3 in being lapped. That is, yeah, look at that. That is all of the GT3s that are in suit going through start, tray, finish. And now you have Mark Foley in P2 about to start making his way through the tail end of this. While they are still battling out here, you have Echelon SimSport GT3. I think this was the AIM class team. Taylor Statham, and the pro class is Matthew Piran just ahead. So 2 sister teams looking pretty solid here in 6 and 7. And is he going to let his teammate by? I mean, it looks like he wants to poke his nose in there. The accents are the same, are different. The AM class is Taylor Statham's class, but I thought it said GT3 AM, not P. Must have registered wrong. That doesn't make any sense here. But he is close. while these are all kind of filing in through the corkscrew, we have a driver that's going through them. Let's pop on board and see how Camden Craft of Hyperion Racing 5 is going to get through all of the GT3s and making quick work. And he's now got P9 onward. Matthew Wyckoff right there on the entry. How can he pop on by? Papaya Rules over at Echelon. Whoa! Bang, bang. Can't follow your teammate through there. And Hand and Craft having to dodge and weave. I think it was a Porsche. As they were all trying to make a little bit of room, but he has done it. That is P6. Now he's got a little bit further to go. Wasn't Papaya Rules just that they will fight it out, but inevitably they don't really fight it out and then complain when Lando got ahead? Or is that the different race? Can't remember. This is going to be difficult. He's got to follow these guys through the corkscrew and then make his way on exit. He's only going to be able to get one of them here if he tries really hard, and that's going to be Alex Zier. And then get the 212 racing drivers both in first and second. That is pretty cool to see. We have the sister teams in first and second for LMP2 and GT3s. Not going to be said for Mark Foley here, who's only 1.8 seconds back and is got the difference here for the Hyperion Racing in the GTP class. Camden Craft, like I said before, is crafty with those damned pedals. He is very crafty. I'm the team boss for Echelon. Papaya Rules at Calcifer. Oh my god. Oh man. I'm here for Four Loco Racing and ready to jump off a bridge. Jesus, guys. Alright, Echelon Sim Sport is Papaya Rules. They're letting themselves go. I can't. I don't. Thomas 3818. Buddy, I cannot. I mean. I can't. I had to block it, but just use the other word. And fire it away again. I don't know. Looks like Taylor Statham gets by Matthew Perian. Papaya Rules do stand. They are battling it out. But look at that. Matthew Wyckoff now on the inside line. Also going to overtake. That's what happens when you leave the door open, folks. Matthew Wyckoff has gone by Matthew Perian. And now he's split these two Echelon Sim Sport drivers. And the driver who has not put in a lot of practice, is winging it as he goes, has just made a move in the GT3 class while they're about to be passed by a couple more drivers in the GTP class. Four Loco Racing has a cool livery. Those rear rings on the Four Loco cars all have some words of wisdom on them. We'll take a look at those shortly. Tyler Tier in TR Racing is P8 at the moment. Was pretty close to Matthew Perian, but I think this GTP class kind of threw him off there. Gio Gonzalez. Are these some rules not being followed here? I mean, I guess, is it Papaya Rules at Hyperion Racing? Because these two are awfully close. And Gio Gonzalez, through a couple corners, has piqued interest on wanting to get by. There's Edison Toole in P13, and that is one of the Four Loco Racing cars. And can't see it from that one, but the Four Loco Racing of USA, that one's pretty good. Peter Petrucci has raced that one before. I've seen that livery many a times. Gio fights to the death. So then it is going to be a fight between these two. They are separated not by only 4/10. Of course, Holland in the CKY car, Cars Racing, letting him by. Still racing his own race. Gonna follow him through. Now these two have been... You know what's quite interesting, I will say, is that, well, these three are still together, these GTPs, Peter Flanner, Austin, or William Paisley, and Austin J. McGill. But also, you see drivers in the pit lane, and I am not sure why. You have Stephen G. Parks and Matt Benson. Matt Benson had a tow. Be that as it may, no drivers have quit the race just yet. It's Gage Yams overtakes Dominic Ford for P2, but is quickly shuffled back to P3 as they go into the hairpin, and Dominic Ford retakes P2. SGP? I don't even know who that is. Is there an S? Well, by any standard, Dominic Ford still holds P2. Oh, Stephen G. Parks. I was like, Stephen G. Parks. Oh, the Peach car. He was in the pits. Took him 3 minutes, 14 seconds. So what happened to this driver? He looks like he has some damage on the front end, but I'm not entirely sure. Enjoying the view? Is that what it said? Can we get in? I mean, he's in P17 at the moment, and he's a couple laps down, but you guys chant him on. Hope for the best. It is a long race. I guess we'll see what happens here. Okay, on lap 7 here, it says... No! Hit that replay. Pop it back a little further here and go to the chopper. Jesse Canales gets a little a love tap from the GT3 class. That is unfortunate. Valhalla Motorsports towed to the pits. Alex Zier had a little bit of a spin here. That wasn't the moment, though. It was this one here. Oh. This is... Just missed it. Almost killed another Valhalla driver as well in the moment there. Jason Daly losing it on the exit there. That meatballed the drivers there. He's fine. He's back in the running here. Callum Farley is driving slowly. He just missed his braking point. We really need a virtual safety car to get this traffic clean up. Yeah. Yeah. You know, Aaron Myers takes over the Valhalla Motorsports car for Matt Benson. Oh, look at this. Now, 212 Racing has been passed twice by Gage Yams. And on the exit, Daniel Haynes from the core crew might have a position as well. The 212 were holding 1 and 2, and now they're 2 and 3, and now 2 and 4. That was a little bit of a bump. Rubbin is racing. The only angle we saw is that they came together. Who knows how that all came about? But that was for position. If we go back further, we'll take this one here. This is how Gage got by. They're going up, and they have this P2 coming on by. Ryan Serlich is who that is. They both go off, and that is unincidental to the LMP2. That's how he got by, and that's how the run started for Daniel Haynes. Oh no, Stephen G. Parks comes together with a Hyperion driver. That's the 114 car of Gio Gonzalez. Let's take a look at that again. I mean, where does the GT3 go? Is this an off-road race? I've seen a lot of dust. Yeah, there's a lot of dust here. Jason Daly, unfortunately, I hope this isn't bad news for him. Oh, okay. All right. That's something for him. Echelon Simsport. Ooh! Not into the barrier, not into the barrier. He's fine, he's fine, he's fine. But who is that? Who's he with? He's going up. He's in 8th position. There's a driver off. The 404 car, Matthew Wyckoff. And they just... I don't know. I don't know about that one. Chopper cam here. We get a better view. I mean, that's just a little bit on Matthew there. I think he... Like, where's that driver supposed to go? Back on it again. Like, I don't think that was intentional by any means by Matthew there, but the end result is that, as we see. Yeah, the murdering didn't start until after lap 14, I guess, is when it started. Look at that LMP2 squeeze on by the Four Loko Racing black car. Matthew Pearson is still in this fight, though. He's only 13th in class. Still pretty good. Peter Petrucci isn't that far ahead of him. 1.3 seconds. He can gain that back. There's still a good battle to be had here. And it is very dusty here on track. I mean, someone else within the blacked out. Yeah, if you drink Four Loko, you're definitely going to be one of those. Ooh, Daniel Haynes trying to go side by side here. I guess we're going to take a better look at this one as a GTP. Is that the race leader? I think that was a GTP. Yeah, that was the race leader. Taking a look at the, man. I mean, what do you even say here, really? He's got to take the corner, but does he take the corner wider? I mean, that is the racing line, and he just puts it right in there. And, I mean, the Daniel Haynes has to take the corner. I mean, it's a fast right-hander. Daniel's spotter didn't say car inside. Mark's next video will be nothing but you guys gotta quit saying stuff like that. GT3 obviously should have parked it and let the GTP on. Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say there. You wins BWRL Fight Club. It's happened many a times through words, messages of words. Matthew Pearson still hot on the chart here. He's got 2 Four Loko Racing ahead of him. That's USA and Black, and you can tell which one the USA is. GT3 can't race. Mark leading. Let's see here. Camden Craft. Yeah. I mean, this didn't show up in my my algorithm here, but let's take a look here. On my little timing sheet. Ooh, there's an LMP2 that gets him bricked up. Get it, Craig Brick and Inconsol's Racing. He's not a part of this there. That's actually Jason Chen, and he does the over and under there and gets on by. And Jason is doing everything he can. He's just trying to run his own race. But Mark, expertly using the LMP2 to his advantage and get on by him. I didn't say anything. Craig Brick is in the pits right now at the moment, and it looks like he's got some damage. He's actually towing. So, did he have a wreck? Oh. Well, on lap 17, here we go. Here's Peter Flanner and William Paisley are going into... Ooh. Where have I seen this moment before? This is it. He's massively locked up there. And that's unfortunate for Peter Flanner. He's back out there, though. That's not the one to be had. I was going to say that whole incident where Chris Lambeth got shafted by a Draft Punk Gold car at... Now that is unfortunate, and this is what leads Inca Salsa Racing down into the pits and tow. He's lost his entire back end. And if you notice, he will hit this. It's the inside. And that's where it goes. The overtake. Did you not see the overtake? I showed the overtake. Chris, did you see the overtake? I showed the overtake. Everyone else saw, right? Mark putting in that laptop and single screen to P1. I missed it. Yeah, I'll go back and look at it because it's still up for. It's a still really good one. So it doesn't happen here. But he's battling through on the start straight finish. Well, at least I didn't take out another Valhalla card of my... There's that easy Mart Racing. Valhalla cars did... I think one of them did die, but it wasn't you. And there he goes. He uses the advantage here, which is Jason Chen, and does an up and over and... got him, and that's how he was able to get past Camden Craft. And Dominic Ford here trying to make a that Ryan Serlich, and gonna pop that back a second. We have a chopper cam with an LMP2 passing down turn 11. That's a long ways to go. Locked up right there at the end. I don't even think he would have made the corner the way he wanted to anyway, but there he goes. Dominic Ford now losing another position. Oh. Dominic Ford AFK out of this position. Dominic Ford has retired the car. It looks like Peter Petrucci and Matthew Pearson battling out here, and it looks like it's gone to Matthew Pearson. We'll pop that back slightly into the entry of turn 2 in that hairpin. They go side by side, and they're going to follow this through into turn 3, and I think that's when it was really said and done and move planted. He's ahead. Ultimately, though, something must have happened here for Peter Petrucci, because not only is he down here in 12th, but Edison Toole, the Four Local Racing Black, is now ahead of both of them. That was Ryan Miller the second, not Ryan Serlich. Sorry, guys. Get my wrong. Ryan Serlich is the other car here, Twin Turner Racing with Low Key Racing. Same livery, mostly. And they're both in the LMP2 class. So, there's that. Setting picks off P2s like it's a real bro. Pay attention, man. Yeah, pay attention. Racing incident. That was a great move by Mark to take P1. Yeah, it really was. Austin J. McGill. Oh, no. Austin J. McGill is out of this race. And I'm saying that... Whoa! I wasn't paying attention. What just happened? It's William Paisley of Acadian Motorsports. Ooh, he lost that left rear, but that was really odd. Like he was trying to slow down for that a little bit. That cost him a couple spots. Take a look. Ooh, that's even better. Pop on board with William Paisley and take a look and see how this all occurred. Slowing. Ooh, lost the rear. Snap. And yep. That's unfortunate. Gio Gonzalez is now battling out with Ryan Serlich and Camden Kraft, who is on the inside. And Ryan Serlich trying to find his way by or stay ahead of Gio Gonzalez. He's got Camden Kraft of Hyperion Racing 5 just ahead of him. That's a GTP that should not be really holding up these two LMP2s, but looked like it was a little bit of a hold up there through turn 3. And through they go as Michael Sharon of Cars Racing CKY is now on board in that car. Looks like they opted to do a change in drivers in that team. Callum Farley is now in the pit lane, so a lot of drivers making up some time here and positions. On board with Gio Gonzalez. Is he going to be able to get past Ryan Serlich? Just a little reminder from the last race where he had a Watkins plan. Ryan Serlich was well in hand to finish on the podium steps, but was involved in an incident with the Hyperion Racing team. I don't know which one, but one of them. And that kind of dropped his chances from the podium steps. But here Ryan Serlich is right now in P2. Hopefully he can maintain this pace and give himself a spot. As Ryan A. Phillips of Ford Local Racing Sour Apple is just ahead. And hopefully they get that on by quickly and without incident. Looks like some of those drivers can pass GT3s. And look at Ryan Serlich passing on by. Ooh. William Paisley of Arcadian Motorsports and Peter Flanner of Draft Punk Gold. You can tell which one's Rich. They're battling in the GTP class. And it is awfully close. And they've got some traffic. Oof. That's Jason Chen off in the distance there in the gravel sand, pocket sand. Peter Flanner did get bumped on the middle of that apex there on Peter Flanner. Ugh. And there is no room has been given to either one of these drivers. It is no quarter. And they are rubbing. Ooh. That car is All right. Well, we'll take another look at it here. We have the opportunity and the time. I think it was slightly netcode, but I might be wrong on this when I was looking at it. Nope, that wasn't netcode. Gonna lie, that was 100% driver error. Well, multi-class racing does lend itself to fair bit of incidents, as you might want to call them. Peter Flanner definitely has a meatball from that to the pits, as you can imagine. And Mark Foley had an incident. Oh, he just lost it on his own. Through goes Camden Craft, by the way, on that mistake into turn 11. It's not that bad though. All things considered, he's only 3.7 seconds back, 3.8 seconds back from Camden Craft. So, good things to take away here. Mark Foley, while it is an incident, it is not that big of a deal. It's a long race. He's got plenty of time to make up 4 seconds. And there's more than likely he will. Probably right now, since his tires have just gone through the gauntlet there on turn 11 on the last lap, he's probably going to be just taking it slightly easier until he feels that the tires are more stable. But we'll go on to Ryan Serlich, who's got Gio Gonzalez in his sights. Looks like Gio Gonzalez has gone by Ryan Serlich at some point through all the chaos and the melees that have occurred. And here we have it. There have been no safety cars. Safety cars are enabled. There have been minor incidents, but nothing incidents worthy of ending a race for some people. Really, it has occurred. And Ryan Serlich making that move pretty easily on turn 10, and we're going to be able to hold this down past a couple of these GT3s in the process. Matthew Wyckoff and Tyler Tier are battling out here for P5, and it looks like it might go to Matthew Wyckoff. He's got the inside line into the hairpin, but a reminder that this hairpin goes to the right on the next corner, and it looks like he doesn't even need to worry about that. He's gone on by, smooth and clean. And then Matthew Wyckoff goes into the sand there. Not keeping this as spotless on the track as they could. Should be time to pit soon, yeah. For which class? The GTPs? LMP2s? Or the GT3s? Right now, Edison Toole has pit. He's the first driver to pit. But I don't even know if he pit. It says 3 minutes. He towed in pit, or he had damage, so his pit is separate from what everyone else is doing. Stephen G. Parks pit on lap 7. He did have some damage. Didn't repair that front end, but definitely did have that. Dan would know. Yeah, who's Dan? Tyler Tier is ahead of Matthew Wyckoff again. That is a shocker. Would honestly like to know how that has happened. Jason Chen just crashed. or the corkscrew. Got it completely slowed down. So he's back out. No issue. You gotta think that the GT3s will probably be able to hit only once, right? Because they're using full fuel. Do you really have two browsers open? One for Dan Gleesack and your own main account, so you can type on both? Hyper inflating, or you're inflating the numbers of the Twitch stream. That's what's happening. Dan's his own man. How dare you? Yeah. Back over to Gio Gonzalez, who's got probably the most, I guess, the best chance here of making a pass shortly. We have 7 drivers and teams, total 7 teams, plus their drivers that are part of those teams, that have quit. They've called it good. One stop 9 laps ago. I will say that Austin J. McGill more than likely lost connection, because it just showed him gone. Like, he was disappeared from the scoreboard. It didn't show anyone pass him. He just blinked and was gone. So he had a packet loss of some sort, if anything. I don't know specifically, but he didn't force quit his thing, from by the looks of it. Here's a pillar report. Taylor Statham is having a great race running P3, while for Piran it's nothing but disappointment after spending a week responding to the fire ripping through northern Canada right now. Piran hoping to time a safety car pit stop to bring him back into this race. A safety car pit stop is going to be very unlikely, I will say. I mean, maybe a commentator's curse that makes it happen for you right then and there, but right now, it is going to be very difficult for that level of a event to occur on track. You're basically going to have a multitude of things happen all at once. And if that was the case, I'm honestly surprised with the amount of gravel and people going off track. But it's all about how they're going off track in succession. Andrew Korostecki takes over the car at Purdue to Punch Racing and is in 5th position in the overall. Actually, no, 5th in class, 8th in the overall. I said that wrong. And we'll see him make up some room here. Jesse Canales of the Barbecue Boys. Camden Craft has just gone into P3, and Camden Craft is not here. This is another Austin J. McGill incident. Or, not incident, but thing. Camden Craft, clicking on him, DNF. We're getting a DNF out of Camden Craft. I don't see anything on the board. Oh, that is no bueno. And they have now received a meatball flag, because when he disconnected, he must have gone, or it just registers as a meatball flag, but he didn't actually go off track. He's gone. He's disappeared from the ether. Whole reason I'm here is for Camden Craft. Yeah. Loss of power steering. Is that true? Is that really what happened? So is his setup all messed up? Might have lost power. He's in the store having a... Yep, that could be it. I mean, his game froze for 2 seconds and got a 6-minute meatball. Yep. There it is. Where's Mark? Mark is no longer with us. His teammate has came out into 6th position overall. I mean, that's what Trey and Chris love. They just love messing with me. Andrew took over for, yeah. Korstecki. I mean, you had to know when it was a Prosciutto Punch Racing. Who's Andrew Korstecki's other teammate in the regular season? Isn't Eric Rodriguez? Or I think it's Eric Rodriguez. If I'm not mistaken, it's Eric Rodriguez. And Crazy Terrain, thank you for the follow. So Dark Jason. I wonder if we ever said that. I don't... What did I say that was dark? I didn't say anything that was dark. We still have 15 GT3s that are out there, and they're doing fairly well right now. Drew almost had him there. There's no Drew. Knock it off, guys. Yeah, there we go. Gia Gonzalez and Ryan Serlich here are battling out. Or is it? No, it's Eddie Layton. Why does that? Oh, that's weird. I thought that. Never mind. Mark is no longer with us, and left a rather large space before you said his teammate took over. Just, I'm looking at 2 screens here. I have to actually technically 3 things. I'm looking at Camden Craft is back out. It looks like his 6-minute meatball is going to be served, and he's going to try his best to be back out there. Another driver who's still sitting out there is Peter Flanner. 12 minutes 44 seconds. That is a rough one. He is still probably going to do his best. Well, we'll just go over to our race leader. Christopher Tritting is leading by 17 seconds over William Paisley. And then Jesse Canales and Barbecue Boys by 29 seconds, 30 seconds. Gio Gonzalez in first for the LMP2 class. Eddie Layton and Hyperion Racing 6 behind in second place. Andrew Korstecki is right behind. Reminder that Andrew or Mark pit on lap 31. He was one of the first. He's the only driver in the GTPs to pit that is still on the lead lap. No other driver. So it looks like Eddie Layton is going in. Jason Chen not there just yet. Andrew Korstecki is going to retake a position for the overall, which was Eddie Layton, but Gio Gonzalez is still out there. Jesse Canales is still out there, but he is... Oh, he is at the... He's at the start straight. And Andrew Korstecki is... Well, this would make the most sense. It took him 1 minute and 29 seconds to go through. So while the driver he needs to pass is behind him in the first sector, while he's entering the second sector, I think that's still going to kind of pan out for him, at least getting back into P3, maybe even possibly P2. So we'll see that shortly. Whoa! What was that? Oh! Oh! Corkscrew is going to be a bad place anyways if you get... That's not enough. There's 2 off track, but there's a... He wasn't stopped on track. But if you take a look at this, on the chopper cam, here's Michael Sharon going into the Corkscrew. Yeah, you got to follow. You're supposed to follow. He's trying to get out of the way at this point. If he stayed still, he probably would. They would have moved. They would have gone around him. Can't blame any of this on Camden Craft anymore. Safety car mod check. There's no free quality ban for the Porsche Punta. I mean, Camden Craft is actually just exiting the pit lane, so he is all good with his issues. Peter Flanner is still in the pit lane. I wouldn't put this on Edison at all. I mean, when he did hit him, it's going in through the pit lane now. There. But Michael Sharon in this Cars Racing CKY, like, initial thing probably wasn't his fault at all. You know, GTP just kind of sneaks one in when they're going to the Corkscrew, but you know, getting back on the throttle there, and that would probably be on him. Supposed to wait until all cars clear before you make re-entry. Let's take a look here at our GT3 class. Gage Yams, who's made up an impressive 5 positions. As Parks de la Cruz, he pressed the punt to pass on the dash. It's made up 5 positions, is now leading this race for the GT3 class. Parks de la Cruz in the 212 Racing 021 car is in 2nd. Taylor Statham in the GT3 Echelon Sim Sport AM class team, by the way. Taylor Statham with that blue accent livery. And then you have Daniel Haynes, who had gotten past the 212, one of them, actually both of them. And now he's back into P4. The other 212 car of Dominic Ford is no longer with us. He left some time ago. Tyler Tier in the TR Racing is in 5th position. It's got a little bit of a gap here to both the drivers around him. Matthew Wyckoff just behind in Valhalla Motorsports 3rd team? Is the T Veer 3? Is that 2? I don't know. But he's got an LMP2 and a GTP right up behind him, so anything's possible. Thankfully, he is safe. It's like William Paisley collects a little bit of the concrete barrier on his way to pass the LMP2. I didn't kill him. Ryan A. Phillips in the 4 Loco Racing Sour Apple is in 7th position. No one wants to say go. Never mind. Richard Sever of Darkwing Racing is in 8th position in the GT3s. Alex Zier is in 9 in the Chrome Dome Racing. Echelon Sim Sport GT3 Pro, Matthew Piran is in 10th. Michael Sharon in 11th in the Cars Racing CKY. Peter Petrucci still holding pretty good ground here. Gage Yams is actually lapping him for position for in the overall. Not in the overall, but lapping. He's being lapped by his class leader at the moment. That's what I meant to say. And so Peter Petrucci goes a lap down on the GT3 lap leader, class leader. Thomas Smith has been lapped, but is in 13th. V. Ray, get out of the way. Richard Sevra here gets past. We'll pop this back slightly. Looks like he gets past up the hill before the Corkscrew, and got so before Barbecue Boys Jesse Canales can intervene, and both go through, and it goes Alex Zier for the moment, and yeah, it's going to be pretty rough there for Richard Severa, who doesn't have that arrow in the front end that is missing. And further back, we have Camden Kraft, who's 23rd in the overall, Hyperion Racing 5. He's back at it. He's 6 laps down, but he's only a lap down from the rest of the GT3s. Some of them, half of them are on 4 laps down, half of them are on the 5th. Edison Toole of Four Local Racing Black is in 14th in the GT3s, and Stephen G. Parks in the Peach is in the pits right now. He is towing. That can't be right. Oh no, he crashed. Ooh, that's a big one too. Yeah, that's a big one. And he can't even go into the pit lane from there. That's unfortunate. Camden Kraft also found his way off track into turn 2. And Jason Chen on the exit. Stopped it for the tire barrier, but cold tires on pit exit. That will be the case for all drivers. Cold tires. Unfortunate. Oh, Christopher Chitterling, who was leading the race in P1 in the GTP, has spun his car. William Paisley had a 17-second gap, and he's back out. And what can we say here? William Paisley's going to pass. Well, William Paisley's going in the pits as well. They're both going to reset. That was something else. So the battle for the lead is on. Taylor Statham spins out of P3. Is he hold P3? Daniel Haynes is shortly behind. Did he actually get by, though? Daniel is now 1.5 seconds back, so that spin cost him. Ooh, who's off there? Camden Kraft off into turn 2 again. That's the second lap in a row that he has found the gravel, the sand traps, whatever you want to call it. And that is more debris. DeFries in turn 1. Or turn 2. The banana peels, they are of their own making. Oh, no! And Charles Whedon exits the pits, and that's going to be an unsafe release. And he's going to get a black flag because you're supposed to go the entire distance until... Even if he gets back on track. Oh my God. And Chris Chitterling, who gave the car over to the little lug nuts of Charles Whedon, is going to be issued an unsafe release. There it is. It's clicked on the boards. He has a black flag. He will serve a drive-through penalty for this moment. That is truly disheartening for the Little Lugnuts team, as Jesse Canales has now taken over as race leader of the GTP class for the Barbecue Boys. Gio Gonzalez has Matt Scherf in his sights. Hyperion Racing 10. Hyperion Racing 6 is behind by 6.6 seconds. They're passing Gage Yams, who's the race leader for the GT3 class. Good on them for following suit and letting this GT3 on through in the corkscrew. They'll pass him on the exit eventually. Oof. And Matt Scherf is blinking. So that's not ideal for him. And this continues. Zeki Kabani is going to be replacing Jesse Canales and the Barbecue Boys. There is Charles Whedon getting a move down into the pit lane. And he is going to go back out and hopefully not hit the barrier on the left. And serving his mandatory drive-through penalty, he's going to go back out there. Just behind some GT3 traffic. Zeki Kabani's also going to go out, and it looks like it's a little bit more cautious and clean for him. And a little bit slower, but, you know, with due caution, he did slow it up to get there on the exit. And now where we are at, the GT3 class is still yet to hit, and I think that was going to be the case. They're going to be doing a full one-stopper here. Now, I'm kind of curious, anyone in the chat, are the GT3s going to do a full set of tires when they do the full fuel, or are they going to even need to do full fuel? Is it going to be probably like 3/4? The way this is going right now, they're on lap 46, still yet to pit. Although, I mean, they'd have to go to like lap 60 or 70 because it's 95 laps before we could know if that's the case. If they pit on like lap 60, then we know, okay, maybe it isn't full fuel. But if they end up pitting in the 50s, then it might be just about. Not full fuel, like 90%, definitely tires. Please use Mario Kart music for your next highlight video. Well, I don't know if Mark is here. Is Mark here? He's probably helping out his teammate, to be honest. And Gio Gonzalez has just received a black flag. Let's take this back. Here we're on Chopper. This is where he receives it. Oof. I think that was all four. I mean, that was a track limits there on the entry into the corkscrew. And he hasn't served it this time around. But Gio Gonzalez, who is now in third position, is going to have to go with a drive-through penalty. Going to the pits, I mean. It's unfortunate. Some teams are opting for gravel tires due to track conditions. Intermediate tires. They need a little tread. There's the Richard Severa. Oh! And Matt Schriff just Oppo Locoed himself before the corkscrew. Yep. That's unfortunate. While position gained, here we have Gio Gonzalez having to make way. Andrew Korostecki now ahead of the Hyperion Racing Cars, the LMP2 class, and is now back into P2. William Paisley is his only competitor. It is ahead by 17.8 seconds. Problem is there's a vast difference in their what's happened. William Paisley did a 1 minute and 5 seconds, and Mark to Andrew, they did a 1 minute 29. So whatever they did, it's definitely kind of marking their position on track. That 29 seconds was a significant overreach. It's at full fuel. They take tires. They need to take tires because of the Mark got damage from the GT3. Probably repaired in pit. You think even to just repair that little bit of a damage, was it worth it? I'm curious if it was worth it. Mark did get damage. Matthew Pearson and Richard Severa battling it out here for P9, and it looks like it's going to go to Matthew Pearson into turn 2 as Peter Petrucci is exiting the pit lane. He's actually a lap down in 12th position from these drivers. It's kind of odd to think, though. He's a lap down. Parks de la Cruz is leading the GT3 race at the moment. He has not pit. Daniel Haynes has not pit. Tyler Tier has not pit. Matthew Wyckoff has not as well. But Gage Yams has pit. Pits now here on lap 40. I think it's 49 for him. 48 maybe, depending on where the GTPs were. Or the lead one was. He has 49. And he is out. And his pit time was a minute 2. He's in 5th position with Alex Zier on the outside. He's going to get him into turn 1 more than likely because he's all ready to go up to speed. And Taylor Statham is in the pit lane. So is Ryan A. Phillips, Matthew Pearson, Michael Sharon's going in. So we have now Richard Sever, who stayed out. Oh. Yeah, who stayed out. Alex Zier, who stayed out. Matthew Wyckoff still out. Tyler Tier out. Daniel Haynes is now going in. Now it's going to be between Gage Yams here and Daniel Haynes, who has just entered the pit lane. Where will he shuffle back out? Oh, that sounded like someone got hit. Tyler Tier stays out on that lap. Matthew Wyckoff still in. Alex Sear. Not sure if he's going to stay in or not. Oh. Charles Whedon had a little bit of an off. That's unfortunate. It's a bit of a spin. Alright, so Gage Yams has gone through, and he's now in P4. Matthew Wyckoff still has not gone in. Daniel Haynes is exiting. Alex Zier is still in the pit lane. And Taylor Statham is out. He's going to pass Alex Zier for position. Ryan A. Phillips may get one of these drivers, Alex Zier, and it looks like that is going to be the case as he passes on by, and position gain there. Back to P8. Now P1 through 3 in the GT3 class has not pit. They're on lap 48, or in their stint. Remind you that they're laps down from the race lead. So I guess we'll see. Brandon Renfro is in the pit lane. Matthew Wyckoff is still out there on track, as well as Parks de la Cruz. Gage Yams has gone through on Brandon Renfro in the TR Racing, and he is on by. Daniel Haynes, also a driver looking to make up a spot for P4. He was P4. Can he retain that? There's Brandon Renfro exiting the pits. Daniel Haynes has all the speed already, and he's going to take that spot, as well as Richard Savra taking a spot. Peter Petrucci following suit, but not on the lead lap for them. Now, has Parks de la Cruz gone into the pit at this moment? Yes, he has. Oof. There is another 212 Racing driver of Tyler Kokeko. Matthew Wyckoff into the pits. It would be weird if he takes over now, as Dominic Ford put them down. What? So many laps. 35 laps. 35 laps down and no repairs. Zero repairs. Maybe Tyler is just watching the race from that position. There goes Gage Yams, overtaking Parks de la Cruz, who's just exiting the pit lane. Matthew Wyckoff in, but where's Daniel Haynes? Nowhere to be found on that one. He is not going to take a spot away from Parks de la Cruz. But can he overtake Matthew Wyckoff? It looks like he's going to be able to do that. He's out there and ahead of his sister teammate. And even Richard Sever was able to get by. And it looks like Taylor Statham and Matthew Wyckoff are battling on the exit, and it looks like it's going to go to Matthew Wyckoff for the moment. And Taylor Statham has the opportunity to make up a spot on Matthew Wyckoff here for P6. They're separated by 4/10, the only drivers on track that are really got a close grouping at the moment. Now, I find interesting is Andrew Korostecki, whose stint is 22 laps now, he holds a longer stint than William Paisley, Zeki Kabani, and Charles Whedon by over 12 laps at this point. So it will be very interesting to see how and when, or how that will, the pit stop will work out for them, because they pit significantly earlier than the other GTPs. Camden Kraft making up some spots. He's now back 17th in the overall, which is not that bad in terms of trying to get things back. Car just built different. The Andrew Korostecki's is the moment. It's not going to look like a good strategy if everyone else on the GTPs is pitting roughly the same to each other, but they aren't. If they go in and no one else decides to go in, what's the point? Yeah, but 40 more laps to go. I mean, a long second half for some of these drivers, that's for sure. Strange as Tyler Kokeko is there, technically in the race. It's been 45 minutes and 30 seconds in the pit lane. Peter Flanner's been in the pits for 38 minutes. Just kind of interesting to see if those drivers even pop back up. It would be kind of wild to see them back out there, but anything's possible. It looks like Alex here had a little bit of an issue here. Take a look. Oof. Got a lot of that curb. A lot of the curb. He's back out there though. Imagine we're going to see a lot more drive-through penalties. Is the number of off tracks have continued to escalate lap after lap. Hyperion Racing 9 has had 3 off tracks in 1 lap. Four Loco Racing, different Four Locos, have also had some off tracks. Not all in the same lap, but relatively recently. Sour Apple's definitely going to feel that one. And Gio Gonzalez has crashed in the corkscrew. Oof. That's actually not a bad way to crash. Got a 9-second gap to Matt Scherf. Looks like it's going to be okay for him. Back over to our drivers in the GT3 class who are still battling out here. He's got a 6/10 gap. Oh! And Matthew Wyckoff. It's gone off. Oh no, did he... Oh, he barely touched the wall. I think Matthew Wyckoff is DNFing. It's unfortunate. He made it over halfway. He did tow to the pits, even though he was right next to the pits. I mean, I don't think his car was really that damaged. Barely touched the tire barrier there. But that is a position gained. Valhalla still in the fight as they got Gage Yams in P1 and Daniel Haynes into P3. Parks de la Cruz in the number 2 1 car, 021 car, is in second. Camden Craft kind of making his way through this grouping. He's got a driver ahead of him, Forrest Holland. It's on the live timer there, but it's got a 9-second gap to the drivers that he needs to pass. Oh, okay. Now this is making more sense. Camden Craft is on the same lap as the GT3s. So when he passes Parks de la Cruz and Gage, he's going to make room in the overall and be 0 laps down on the GT3 class as he passes P1. He's still got 3 more laps after that to pass the LMP2s. And he's just spun. All those spots gained go right back to trying again. And Andrew Korostecki had a little bit of an oopsie daisy here. That can't be it. Oh, that's it. I'm gonna pull this back. Can you guess what is wrong here? Andrew Korostecki has received a black flag. Not a meatball. I think he cut too much of the turn 11 there. Or he might have gotten a 4X from tapping. Not even tapping, but like maybe a... yeah, I don't know. He's back out. He cleared his meatball. And... yikes. He did it again. Or is this the same one? don't know. I think that was the same one. Now, looking back at it, we got William Paisley in P1. Got a 45-second gap there to Andrew Korostecki. Zeki Kabani, 53-second gap. Charles Whedon back a minute 3. That is the top 4 and the only ones left in the GTP class at the moment. I think even Camden Craft has maybe called it quits there. Off-road tires would be fire. Something besides what they're running right now, more than likely. Ryan Serlich has been leading the race for the LMP2 class over 3 Hyperion Racing cars, by the way. Hyperion Racing 6 of Eddie Layton is just behind, 9 seconds back. Hyperion Racing 10 of Matt Schriff in P3. Hyperion Racing 9 of Gio Gonzalez in 4. And 0 days since last incident, Jason Chen in 5. So our prototype classes are kind of settling in here for the moment. Our GT3s, still a little bit left to be that way. And Echelon Sim Sport, the GT3 Pro. That was Matthew Piran. He's got a black flag that he's got to serve. Gio Gonzalez is now serving a black flag penalty himself. Not sure what that one was. It doesn't really say. But he's going into pit as well. Hyperion Racing 10 is doing a driver swap. Hyperion Racing 9 got a black flag right here. Oh, off track. Dems the limits. And he's serving, or he's in the pits right now, but this driver swap scenario doesn't serve the clearing of the black flag. Matthew Piran overtaking, or trying to overtake Darkwing Racing Michael Thompson. They look similar. They are similar. They're both Acuras. And they're both purple and black. Echelon's the one behind, Matthew Piran. And the battle rages on between these two. It's 3/10 separating these two on track. No one else on track has really got anything else to contend with this, but they are going side by side, and it looks like Matthew Piran's going to try to make his way on the outside into the corkscrew, and plenty of space was given to let them both on by, and through he goes. Daniel Haynes now is trying to pass. This is a blue flags matter at the moment, because now he's got a driver who is actually ahead of him on a blue flag situation, but there is Michael Thompson not really letting up to let this driver by. And mind you, there's Stephen G. Parks behind, who's also a blue flag, who, if he had the pace to battle him, could have unlapped himself, but the situation on track is that this driver in P3 is 2 seconds clear faster than the driver behind him and in front of him, and then he finally sort of lets him by. Not really. This is him fighting for a position he should be getting fairly easily. And he's gone on by, but that's just slowed down Michael Thompson's battle to face Matthew Pierin, who's now got a 2.5 second gap to a driver he was 3/4 tenths back. It almost seems just definitely not worth it to fight that hard on a driver who has clearly got quicker pace. And the blue flags rules are the same in the Le Mans series as they are in the sprint championship. You gotta make room and let a driver by. If Matthew Pierin also decides to fight the same battle here against Daniel Haynes across the next set of laps that they go, I mean, looking at that though, it's hard to decide whether or not he should let him by. He did have to battle and overtake those cars on the last lap, so they did have identical laps, but ultimately I think the pace is still much stronger with Daniel Haynes there. Gio Gonzalez is still not set. Well, will you look at that? Peter Flanner, after 49 minutes and 2 seconds, is back out on track. Way to go. That's an unfortunate incident that occurred, but he's cleared his black flag, his meatball flag, and is barreling on by. He hit on lap 22, or he towed on lap 26, I should say. Gio Gonzalez is another one that's kind of perplexing. He's in the pits. He has not moved in 5 minutes. But he's also still got a black flag, so when he actually exits the pits, he's still going to go back into the pits and do a drive-through penalty. Now, with only minimal interruptions on this lap, is Matthew Pierin equal? He's only about 0.15 tenths faster than the driver ahead of him. It's not much, if I had to guess. It's an estimation. Look at that. Not making it easy for Charles Whedon. And now he's close enough, but now he's got William Paisley, the GTP leader, who's going to want to get by first, and he does so. But is Matthew going to let this driver by? Let's pop on board and see whether or not Daniel Haynes is going to get an easy move done here. And he's definitely feeling like maybe... What? What? When it rains, it pours. Valhalla Motorsports is completely out of this. What? That's Gage Yams, who was leading the race. I am so confused. Daniel pulls off DNFs. Gage was in first. Has Eddie Layton. That looks wild. Oh. Upon further reflection, if you see his left rear hit the dirt, it spins him to the other side of the track. He gets off the curb and into the sand gravel patch, and it definitely sends him right into the LMP2. And on board with Eddie. That is an unfortunate accident. Now, every Valhalla Motorsports is out of this race. That is truly unfortunate. I don't even know what to make of the Cameron one. It looked like he was trying to make a move, and then he just kind of called it. That's something else. I mean, yeah, racing. It's unfortunate for Valhalla. I mean, I don't think Gage. I thought Gage was having a great race, and you know he did dip those tires into the gravel sand area, and that will shoot you across the track. And then he did. If he added some throttle right there, that's left rears looked like it just cooked him to the right side of the track, and Eddie trying to make a move, he just gets collected in that incident. But that isn't the worst of it. It's like Jason Chen also has a black flag. And now Taylor Statham is in third position here for the AM class. Brandon Renfro is ahead of him, though. So the battle for P1 in the AM class GT3s is still on. The Gentleman's Cup, as it's called, GT3 Gentleman's Cup. These two are both trying to finish ahead of each other. Peter Flanner just trying to get by. Forrest Holland in Cars Racing CKY is just behind Michael Thompson in Darkwing Racing. And this is the battle for P7. And take a look back here. That's Doug Sorrentino. And that is Tyler Tier. Or no, sorry, Brandon Renfro and the TR Racing. And that battle for the P1 in the Gentleman's Cup has just gone to an end. Right there. And now Taylor Statham has a 6.6 second gap to his rival for the Gentleman's Cup win. They're on lap 72. 96. Ryan Serlich going into the pits. It was final pit stop, more than likely. Eddie Layton is got a little bit further to go here. Oh, that's a big gap. They got a full minute. It took him 53 seconds, 53.9 seconds and 52 0.0 for these two to pit. Ryan Serlich is at 40 seconds. They have just gone through the corkscrew. Actually, no, they haven't gone through even the corkscrew. The P2 and P3 in the LMP2 class have the race leader in the pits. They got to get through this and forward. Oh, there's Ryan Serlich. He's already on the exit. He did a 50.3, and it looks like he's going to be a golden goose to the end of this race. And his rivals are just down into what's that? Oh, turn 11, the start straight finish, and he is turn 5. I get some of these corners confused. William Paisley has yet to pit on his stint. Andrew Korostecki did pit lap 31. But he hasn't pit either. But his stint is much different. Oh, you know what? It's counting his drive-through penalty as him going into the pits. Michael Thompson in Darkwing Racing has a black flag, so the battle right now for Forrest Holland to overtake him isn't going to matter much. He's going to get that spot no matter what Michael does. He's got to go in the pits and serve a drive-through penalty. Would be better for him if he tries to make the move on track, but it's not going to matter much. There's Taylor Statham just behind in the GT3 class in P2. What? Oh, you know what? I forgot all about that driver. Brandon Renfro. Nope, I was right. I was doing that all right. Taylor Statham is in second, which is pretty crazy to think about, considering all the other pros that were out there on track, but he's in second, now lapping Forrest Holland, but this is the not even a battle for P2 in the AM class Gentlemen's Club, the GT3 Gentlemen's Cup. But if it were, I mean, it'd be a little bit more enticing, but Forrest is down a lap extra from Taylor Statham at the moment. After the day that Purin has had, he is still P2 in class. What a race. Is he? Yeah, he is. He's technically P2. As everyone else out on track is in the AM class. That's actually because all the other AM class drivers have died. So that's actually another thing to take away there is Matthew Purin in 6th in position in the GT3s is second in the GT what is it? The pros. The GT3 pros. It's been a long race. 20 laps to go. Although I don't even think it's going to be 20 laps. These things have been notoriously wrong, where it's like ended 5 laps earlier. I did look at the coding, and it directly goes to what it should be, 95 laps. So when it counts down 5 laps left to go, it should be the entire 95, but we never even had safety cars on the last race, and that ended like 6 or 7 laps early or something like that from what it was supposed to. But it looks at the session counter, and then that's how it determines the lap count, all built in to the session itself. So I don't know why it would have been wrong last time. Yeah, you definitely got there. And Stephen G. Parks has another black flag. It's unfortunate for him. Michael Thompson had a bit of a crash. Yep. Not too bad though. Not too bad. He's already back out on track. Ooh, that was a move for Andrew Seca, and it did not stick. He a little bit of Oppo Loco there, and the brakes locked up. But now he's made the move on Edison Tool for Loco Racing Black. And it's gone into the pit lane. This might be his last pit stop. So we know that the GTPs are going to have to. This stint is 33 laps for William Paisley, who pit on lap 43. Zeki Kabani, who's still on the lead lap, but about to be passed by William Paisley. That is going to be quite the struggle. He does get P2 at the moment because Andrew Stecchi is in the pit lane. But while this would be considered almost blue flags, the race leader is coming up behind you. He does in fact have the ability to not adhere to this because he can. What happened to Gage? Gage? In turn 4, on the exit of turn 4, which is right after that big tire, the tire, half tire thing that they go under, the tire overpass. On the exit, you know how it's a fast right-hander. On the exit, he went on the curbing on the left, but then he dipped his tires into the gravel, the sand trap there, and it shot him across the track. He was definitely using throttle, and there's Zeki Kabani letting William Paisley by. Shot him across the track and into Eddie Layton, and did some damage to Eddie Layton there. It was... If you want to see, Matt, give me a second. I can pull it up. Here it is. Alright, did you swap now? This is it. It was, you can see that he gets tired, like, it's a hard angle to see, but he gets his tires dipped in and he immediately shoots across. He's trying to brake because he knows he's shooting across, and then he hits Eddie, and that's pretty much it. Yep. Andrew Stecchi having pit. It was an RP to the entire Valhalla Motorsports, every single one. Every single Valhalla Motorsports team out of this race. Pour one out to our homies, yeah. And Andrew Stecchi, first to pit from the GTPs. He's got 3 drivers ahead of him. Not that much of a gap, though. You got to remember, Charles Whedon and Zeki Kabani are both about... So he's 10 seconds behind, or 11 seconds behind Charles Whedon, and then another 16 total to Zeki Kabani, who's just ahead. So these two have to pit, for no doubt that they do. So Andrew Stecchi will retake P2 in that regard, but William Paisley is the only driver on the lead lap now. He has passed the GTPs that he was facing in his own on the lead lap. And Connor Lines 07, thank you for the follow. So in terms of how this race is going for William Paisley. It looks like he's going to do fairly well. Maintain P1 no matter what he pretty much does. He's just got to take it home. Even if he pits and takes all the tires, all the fuel, he's got enough time to do so. He's actually got a full lap to do so. 1 minute 14 seconds, 15 seconds, depending on how fast these guys were last going. Last lap for Zeki Gabani was a 117, and Charles Whedon's was 115. So as long as he finishes under that, and mind you, they still have to pit, so he's got another minute and some change on these drivers. It's not the case for Andrew Gorstecki. He's got a minute and what would be 16 seconds. Actually, I don't even know if that's the case. I don't know what the time differential to these two drivers is, but it is whatever that is. That's how much time Andrew Gorstecki has to get on by. Ryan Serlich still holding it strong in P1, P5 in the overall. And Doug Sarantino is 16 seconds back. Eddie Layton, 21 seconds. And Doug Sarantino has just received a black flag. And that is going to be a lot of drivers. Oh no! Andrew Gorstecki has received a black flag. Charles Whedon of Little Lugnuts has received a black flag. Alex Zier of Chrome Dome Racing has also received a black flag. That's 4 drivers that all have black flags. And Chrome Dome Racing of Alex Zier. Charles Whedon and him come together there on the entry into turn 2 of the hairpin, and that also doesn't help, but that is another black flag. Darkwing Racing of Michael Thompson also had a little bit of an incident, and that snapped him off, and that was also when Alex Zier had himself an incident, which caused him to have his black flag in the first place, being off and over like that. Still no yellow flags, even though 2 drivers are off here. It's a 1 and a 2 for right there. Peter Flanner for driving slowly. I think just wanting to keep this safe and tidy for the moment. But he's still out there. Peter Flanner is working his way up the overall. He's in 26. There's still a chance for him to get into 22nd. Whereas where Gio Gonzalez left the race on lap 60. Matthew Piran makes up a spot into P5. He goes over Alex Zier, who has to serve his black flag. Doug Sarantino, who was 16 seconds back on... That was 16 seconds back. Now 15.4 seconds back on Ryan Serlich. Gonna be completely out of the contention for the P1, as he's gonna... It's like 20-something seconds. He is yet to serve that... clear that black flag. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. It looks like Andrew Gorstecki served his. Little Lucknuts served theirs. Chrome Dome cleared theirs, but then just went into the pits. DNF. There's so little left in this race. That is... I'm gonna be honest here. I think there's not a single person... I think I misread that. Even if Andrew passes the leader, he would have to go around the track one more time to actually... he's... P1 has surpassed all the drivers in the GTP, so... he is at 0 risk of losing his spot. Where did everyone go? You mean the racers or like the people driving. Doug now doing his mandatory drive-through penalty. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the people like that were in here, they probably went to another stream to harass that commentator. There's no field left. Oh, you're talking about the racers? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's 13 teams that have called it. That's true. Wrong. Oh. Battle Royal at Laguna Seca. I mean, 13 teams have suffered catastrophic failures. I wouldn't say all of them, though. I would say that at least 4 or 5 of them DNF'd by other means. Whether they just parked it and said that was enough. I've already suffered. I'm gone. 2 technical ones that are blackout scenarios, computer freezes, whatever. Austin McGill was doing pretty strong until he just completely just dropped altogether. Other than that, no, I couldn't tell you. It was definitely some violence. Class versus class violence. There's a lockup if I've ever seen one. And with less than 10 laps, I'm sure it will trigger shortly. We already have our race winners almost definitively stated as such. And for the GTP class, LMP2, and the GT3s, those are almost without a doubt. Brandon Renfro did get crashed out on his chance to attack Taylor Statham for the GT3 Gentleman's Cup P1 spot, but you know, this is multi-class racing, so other classes can ruin your chances there. Taylor Statham will take the P1 and the Gentleman's Cup if it all comes down the way it is. Now we just get to take a look at all the exciting things out on track that may still be occurring, even though there's really not that much more happening. As that's what, Ryan A. Phillips in the Sour Apple. His rear is gone. Doesn't have a rear. Now one can surmise that someone hit him. Now, it is still possible for somebody to crash into somebody else here and cause a scene, but the safety car is not going to pull out this late in the race. It is going to be said and done when William Paisley finally ends this thing. And it is on lap 88, William Paisley, who is leading us right now. Zeki Kabani in P2 just finished lap 87. And with this little amount of time, you think everyone's going to be a little bit extra cautious, as there's not much more that could be done. There is Matthew Piran, who just spun, but he is not out of it. I think I spoke too soon. But he will finish P2 in the Pro Championship, having stuck it out this long. Uh, something about seeing the the barbecue boys livery definitely is funny to me. There's there's Peaches right there. There's Stephen G. Parks of Four Logo Racing. He's just received his another drive-through penalty, having just spun off there. I'm not sure what actually happened here. There's an LMP2 that goes on by, and then oop, that is a curb, and that's how he received that. But back over to our our barbecue boys. Seki Kabani. That livery sure is hilarious when you see it from a side. That is his favorite waifu. uh, I know that Trey hates seeing it, so that's so it makes it a little bit much more funny. That's a good number of drivers that have just gone through the corkscrew together. This is quite something. This is Doug Sorrentino trying to make his way on by Michael Thompson of Darkwing Racing. And now Edison Toole of Four Loco Racing Black is also received a drive-through penalty. Oh no. And of course, Stecky. And that is not only a drive-through. Oh, that's a meatball flag. With less than six laps left to go, he completely destroys it. Sitting between two. He's way past braking and into the wall. Kind of curious how this happens. He sees that driver on the out. Squeeze it between. Boom. Oh. Yeah, I mean... that's just unfortunate. He's out of it. Well, he'll finish behind the LMP2s, but he won't finish behind the GT3s, is how that works. CW Pair has got himself a drive-through penalty with less than six laps left to go. Unfortunate. We had 8 GTPs, and almost like the multi-class events in a regular ranked iRacing multi-class event, only 3 of 8 of the GTPs have survived. Not even the main lap. 2 of those GTPs are a lap down from the first, our person in pole and P1. Of the 7 LMP2s, only 4 remain. And of the what's that? 18 of the 18 GT3s, only 12 remain. Correction. Peter Flanner is still out there. So there's 4 GTPs that are still alive out of 8. So there's that to be said. And now Charles Whedon has gone into the pits That's an unknown. Maybe he doesn't have enough fuel to go to the end. 4 laps to go. Let's see if this is true. William Paisley just has to keep it square on track. And there's no flag on that one there. So I guess we'll see soon. It says 3 laps left to go, but he got an early one last time. I'm hoping that's not the case this time. That guy is dead still. And there is the, there's our boy. With the flag, with 3 laps left to go. And I would say, sure, let me take this to some racing. But everyone's so far away from each other. You can look at those timing sheets. It is pretty rough. Maybe that is either the white flag. I think that's the white flag. Let's put this pit lane. That is the white flag. So we got 1 remaining, 2 laps left to go. So it's going to finish a lap before 2 laps left to go. So it's really 1 now. William Paisley will be heralded in P1 as long as he's able to finish this. He's got Pierre Flanner right behind him. Maybe he wants to unlap himself. As it stands, if he stays behind, he will finish. That sounds like someone just crashed back there, but like, oh, he lets him by. He wants to go 1 more lap. It won't help him, as Daniel Haynes has done 3 more laps more. So it won't help him in the overall. But I think that's maybe what he was trying to go for anyway. He just wants to get an extra lap in. But there it is. William Paisley finishes round 4 here at Laguna Seca for Season 2 of the Broken Wing Le Mans Series. And he is P1. Barbecue Boys has a ways to go. Charles Whedon does not. Ryan Serlich is about to cross the line here, and he is going to be P1 in the LMP2 class, and that will be it. As Eddie A. Layton will also have a little bit further to go. It's very weird. P2 is about to go in the corkscrew. Charles Whedon has finished in P3. Zeki Gabani still has to go through the corkscrew and then some. Eddie Layton is crossing turn 3 down the start straight, and he's going to finish P2 in the LMP2 class. Doug Sarantino, a little bit further to go, but P3 in the LMP2 class for him. Jason Chen in P4. And that's done. Barbecue Boys, Zeki Kabani finishes in P2, and it is all said and done for them. Parks de la Cruz finishes P1 for the pro standings in the GT3s, and Taylor Statham in P2 for the Gentleman's Cup. Ooh. And the Four Loco Racing celebrating in fashion, as it seems. And with that said, it's all said and done. William Paisley, congratulations on that win. It's got to feel pretty good, um, especially after all the mayhem that came out on track. Um, what really happened there, as far as that pit stop goes? You did a minute something. So did you underfuel for your stint, your first stint, and then just give it a little bit extra on the second?
Nope. So we did full fuel for the first and second stint, and then we just only had about like 3 laps left. To be honest, I just thought that we were slow, and then all of a sudden we came out in first, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there were some real struggles with the with not only with the drivers and the GPs as far as passing other classes. There was meatballs. There was you know several drivers not only in your class but just had drive-through penalties. So how did you guys manage to not rack up those 1Xs?
Well, we were pretty close on the X's, to be honest with you. We had 21 at the end, but yeah, no. For the most part, it was just trying to keep it on track and be relatively smooth. We had a couple incidents here and there. I do need to apologize to Forrest. I did clip him at one point going into the to the corkscrew. I was getting a little bit of anger message actually on Discord from somebody, and it bothered and it threw me off. But yeah, and then I guess I also had an incident with Peter, which I mean, it to me it was just hard racing. Like he missed the first turn and then ends up kind of making contact with my side, and that ends up allowing him to keep in front. And so I try to get my nose in on the next corner afterwards, and it's just, I mean, the slightest of contact at worst, and I mean, there's actually a gap there if I'm looking at the video. Yeah, there's net code that happens with it. I mean, I'm not too happy with the fact that that happened with it, but like, I mean, he was racing me hard, and I was trying to race hard back, and then, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit of tiny bit of contact. So apologies for the actual contact that spins him, but I mean, like I said, there is a bit of space. I think there's a bit of net code, but I mean, ultimately, it we turned out to have a pretty good pace this race. Ultimately, I mean, we won the
Yeah.
race
Not
by more
only
than I expected.
Yeah,
But
not only
I
that,
think
you lapped your fellow GTP, so you actually had some space to not only pit again, but also pit again. So you could have done two and still been well ahead of them, which has got to feel pretty good as far as your pace goes, and um, kind of nice. So congratulations on the win. It was definitely one of those. It started off really, I think fairly well, but then as the race started to develop after I think lap 14, it just seemed like everyone went to the screws and all these incidents started happening, contacts, whatever. But you survived it, you did well, and you put yourself into P1. So congratulations again, William, and to your team. And look forward to seeing what you guys got going on for round 5.
yeah, we've had good pace all season. Things have just not really gone our way. We got wrecked at round one for a podium. Fuji, I forget exactly what happened. I remember I had really good pace, but I think it was my teammate was still trying to learn the GTP since the changes.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week or not last week, 2 weeks ago at Watkins, we got involved in a wreck with somebody spinning out. And then this week, I mean, yeah, kind of a crazy one, but we ended up winning it. So I mean, we've had good pace all season. It's just that we haven't really had the results to show for it.
Well, you got the results this time around. Congratulations, and see you later.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was a fun one. We started further back than I thought that we would, but yeah, it ended up being quite the entertaining race, really.
That it did. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yep. Taylor, I'm not sure if you're
Oh, we're
aware,
men, apparently. So,
but how's it going? I was gonna say is this is the commentator for watching the race. Congratulations to you. You're on stream with me for the GT3s. You finished Echelon Sim Sport in the AM class team, finishing P1. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good race.
You did have
Definitely
some,
hard.
yeah, and you did have some competition there. I know Brandon Renfro or TR Racing was ahead of you at one point, and it looked like you just got a stroke of luck there. I mean, there was a GTP or an LMP2, I can't remember which, into turn two, and the hairpin took them out, and that was ultimately like a different splice there, and you guys were able to or you were able to get on by, you stayed on by, and you kept that gap, which was about 6 point something seconds. But then I think something else happened to him. But you're able to take the win there, especially with so many drive through penalties that people were having in the AM class as well as the pro class as well. I mean, really, really well done. Not only did you do overall P2 in the GT3s, but P1 in your class. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, thank you. No, it feels great. Yeah, it was definitely a tricky race, especially with the traffic, with everybody trying to figure out where's the best point to pass, and then Renfro definitely was putting up a good fight. It is a shame that what happened. Luckily I was able to get by and then just keep the car alive for the most part.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out that way. I mean, especially when you have so much melee that's happening on track, it's got to feel pretty good finishing the way you guys did. Good on your teammate as well. In the in the pro class, he finishes P2 in class, but in the overall, it's a little different. I think it was P6 or 7, but good on him for holding out there in that fight and still giving it what he could.
Yeah. Matt definitely had some complications. I think he actually had an issue with his brake pedal, but at the end of the day, he just stuck to it and pushed on through. It was really impressive on his part to keep pushing through all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you guys you give it a good shot for the next one. I know you guys are doing pretty well in the standing, so what happens next, for round five? I can't wait to see what are you excited for Spa? Are you excited for the rain, or is this going to be a challenge for you?
No, I'm definitely excited. We actually just had a spa race over the weekend. So, the experience there is definitely to go towards it. Spa in the rain's a little tricky though, so I'm curious to see exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. Can't wait to see what happens there. And once again, congratulations, Taylor, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Looking forward to it.
And that is it, folks. We only got the GT3 or sorry, we only got the GTP P1 and the P1 in the AM class. Looks like Ryan Serlich and Parks de la Cruz are not around for that one. Great race, everybody. Thanks for joining me. And ARCA racing for our Oval League is tomorrow. V first races on Thursdays. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is for all the races. GT3 Sprint Championship is also open as well. We still have a lot of spots open for that. That's on Sundays. And see us back again for multi-class racing here at Broken Ring Racing League in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody, and bye.